Cette vidéo vous est présentée par la boutique de dinosaurs.com, les prix les plus bas sur vos jeux de société favoris.
Hi everyone, my name is LP and today I will be showing you the game Dinoblivion. Dinoblivion is kind of a successor to Goblivion. It's a deck building game especially for two players with a solo mode. One game will last maybe 30-45 minutes and it is developed by Goblivion Games. It is a small deck building game in which you will try to build a clan and build special actions and fight dinosaurs and collect dinosaurs eggs to score the most points. It's a competitive deck building game as opposite to Goblivion, which was cooperative. So I will show you how to set up the game. I will teach you how you play the game, and I will tell you how you can win, how you lose in Goblivion. One thing, everything you will see is prototype. The token, the pawns, the meeples, the cards, everything is prototype, so the art, some part may change. The board will be of better quality, of course, so keep that in mind as I show you the game. So the first step, of course, will be to set up the game in Dinoblivion. Each of the two players will have a personal board, which are represented like that, which look like that, and there will also be a main board, which is just here. On the main board, what you have to do is first you have to shuffle all the cards in the game. You have some action cards which are represented by this hand and some clan cards which are represented by this hand. You shuffle all of these together and you put them in the jungle just here in the green square. Then you'll notice two red squares in the top left and right corner of the main board. On these squares you have to create your dinosaur pile. You will take the level 2 dinosaurs written just here. You will draw 3, put them in one corner, and draw 3 more and put them in the other corner. The rest of the level 1 or 2 pile, the rest of the level 2 cards, you won't use them for the game. You do the same thing with the level 1 dinosaurs. You draw 3 and put them there, and draw 3 more and put them just here. The rest of the cards you don't use for the game. And for the main board, the preparation is just that. You also have a bunch of eggs token, which some are level 1, some are level 2. You just shuffle them all together. You put them face down somewhere on the table. For the personal preparation, each player will have to choose their clan. You have the moon clan, which is represented by this symbol, the moon, of course. And you have the sun clan, which is represented by a sun on his cards. You will have to determine who is the first player. To do that, each player will take their 6 friends token, which are little meeple. You will just throw them somewhere on the table. The other player will do the same, and you will count how many meeples are up on their 2 legs. You have 1 meeple up here, 1 here. The break dancer meeple, like this guy, will not count. In this case, we would have to throw the meeple again because there's a tie with 1. But let's say the black player win, so the black player take his cards, and since we know the black player is the first player, he will take that token near his board, and he will take the leader cards, which are represented by this bunch of feathers just here. He will shuffle the leader cards. He will draw 2 randomly. He will pick the one you want, put that in his deck, and shuffle his deck all together. The other player will receive the card that was not chosen. He will draw another one to have the same number of choices. He will pick the leader he wants. He will draw also that leader in his deck. And their preparation is almost over. Near their board, you will have to create a pile of 6 dinosaurs token for each player, so 6 here, 6 here. A pile of 6 food token. Each food token has a 1 on one side and a 2 on one side. On the other side, so that you have 3 tokens. So you take a pile of 6 for each player. Each player will start with exactly 2 food, and you make their reserve of friend pawns. Each player will start with 2 friends, and they keep their reserve close. When that is done, you are ready to start the game. So now, how does the game work exactly? First thing, when you start a game, you will have to reveal the first dinosaur card on each pile. So you just flip it over, and on each dinosaur card you have some information. The first information you can see on a dinosaur card, its level, of course. The second is the attack power you need to attack that dinosaur, and the third thing is the reward you gain if you succeed to beat that dinosaur. So how does the game work exactly? Let's say that the moon player was the first player, so he has these tokens. When you start a game, you will draw 4 cards. Yes, it's a deck building with 4 cards, not 5. And on your cards, you will have, like I already said, some clan cards and some action cards. You will mainly play your clan cards in that game. So the first thing you can do with a clan card, you have 5 different things you can do with clan cards. The first thing is you can tap a clan card to activate one of your action cards. So let's say if I want to play that action, which would give me a new friend, so I would gain a friend like that. I'm supposed to start with 2. So if I want to use that action, I will just have to tap any of my clan member, whoever that may be, to use that action. So in that case, I could do that, and then I would gain a new friend, a third friend. The second thing I can do with and it works the same with any card. So if I want to use that card, as you can see, that card allows me to discard any dino token I may have. These are the dino tokens. Different action can help me gain dino tokens, so I can discard them to gain 2 attack for each. So if I want to use that, same thing, I would have to tap a clan member to use that action. It's worked the same with every action. So that's the first thing. The second thing you can do is hunt. When you want to hunt, you have to use your attack power. So you can combine different cards. So I could say I would play those 2 cards to have 2 attack powers. Or if I have, let's say, 3 dino tokens, I could say this card will give me 1 attack, and then I will tap that clan member to use that card. I will discard those 3 dino tokens, so I now have 7 attacks. 6 from my Dinoblivion card and 1 for the Explorer. So how does hunting work? Once you have determined how much attack you want to spend to hunt, you will hunt in the jungle just here. You will decide in which hunting field you hunt. You can choose the left one or the right one. It doesn't really matter. And you will flip a number of cards equal to the attack power you choose to sacrifice to hunt. So in my example, I choose to sacrifice 7, which is huge to hunt. 4, 5, 6, 7. I will then reveal 7 cards one by one. I will check on each card if there is a food icon. So card number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So in my case, I will hunt for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The maximum number of tokens you can have is 6. So in my case, I start the game with 2. So I would just have the maximum number of tokens of 6 food. Then I will discard all the cards I revealed and put them in the hunting field I chose. In my case, I chose the left one, so I now have 7 cards in the left hunting field. It is not my hunting field. This hunting field is accessible by all players. What it changed now in the game, now this is technically the market. This is the card I can buy on my turn to put that in my discard pile and build slowly my deck. If I buy this card, I will then reveal the next one, and me or the other player can buy that card on our turn. So let's say the next turn I discard everything I have. The next turn I draw 1, 2, 3, 4. I decide to hunt again, this time with 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 points of hunting, so I will use these 2 cards to hunt. I will hunt in the other field, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I would gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 food. I'm already maxed out, but let's say I spend it all for some reasons, and since I hunt in the other field, I now create a new pile in which me and the other player can buy cards. So that is the hunting action. What is another action I can do? I can attack dinosaurs. If I want to attack dinosaurs, I will have to reach the requirement on the dinosaur cards. For example, that dinosaur, I need to beat a 10, beat or equal a 10, and if I do that, I will gain this rewards, which is in this case 2 eggs. When you gain an egg token, you just take them, you put them in your personal reserve. You even have a symbol here to help you remember you're supposed to put your egg token on this side of your personal board, and you keep the dinosaur card you just beat somewhere in your personal area. They suggest you to put it on your left, and you will flip the next dinosaur so everyone can see. But of course, I would need to have 10 attack on my turns to do that. The other dinosaur, for example, I just need an 8, but I don't collect eggs when I beat the dinosaurs. I will gain 1 friend and I will gain 1 card. When you gain a card from a dinosaur, you can choose any card you want from the hunting field close to that dinosaurs. You can see the symbol just here. So that is attacking a dinosaur. Again, action number 1, you can play a card from your hand, an action card, and tap one of your clan members. Action number 2, you can hunt. Action number 3, you can fight a dinosaurs. There's 2 more action you can do. The simplest one, you can simply use a clan member for the power it has on its cards. So in that case, the banana, I could just tap it, play it from my hand, and gain a food. Do I have some other examples? No special power. My leader, I could destroy a card from my play area, and I would gain a food and a dino token. And every different cards of the deck, I will not explain them all, of course, but you have a lot of different symbols, and usually the symbols are simple enough so you understand the card as soon as you see it. You gain 2 dinosaur token. The mom will have an attack number equal of the number of clan cards you play that turn. The go-go would let you draw 2 cards if you couple them on this side, and you draw 2 cards if you couple them on this side. I'll explain that in a few seconds, and so on and so forth. Gain the token, then dino token, so on and so forth. The last action you can do, you already saw the go-go guy. The last action you can do is to make new friends. How do you do that? If you couple 2 cards together and you match them so they have a perfect symbol on the center of the card, so in my play area I play those 2 cards like that, you simply gain a new friends. When you gain a new friend, like I already said, you just add it to your personal reserve. When you do that, you do not gain the attack power of each card, and you cannot use the ability of each card. You also cannot use that card to tap it under an action card to use the action cards. When you do that, that is the action for the turn of these 2 cards. Now, I already said how you can gain food by hunting. You can gain friend by many different action in the game. The food and the friend tokens are your main resources to buy new cards. When you want to buy the card, you can only buy the first card of each deck, of each hunting deck. So I could buy this card or this card, and I simply have to pay the cost in the top left corner. In that case, if I want to buy the Tigar, I will have to pay 2 food. So let's say I do that, I pay 2 food, and then I will put that in my personal discard pile. Let's say I want to buy this guy, the Rotham. This is an action card. I will have to pay 4 food, so I pay the rest of my food and I gain that card. The other type of cards you can buy are clan cards, and clan cards usually requires you to discard friend token. So if that hunter was on the top of the discard of the hunting pile, I could pay 2 friends and add it to my discard pile. So these are the main action you can do on your turn. When you finish your turn, you simply draw 4 new cards. If you ever finish completely to draw your whole pile, like any deck building game, you will take your discard pile, you will shuffle it together, you will draw 4 cards, and then you will put the rest of the deck on your rage pile. But before you do that, you have to rage. The dinosaurs will rage. How does it work? It is the mechanic in the game that will always fill up those 2 hunting piles even if you don't hunt. Every time your deck rage, you will check each level of dinosaurs which are currently visible. So we have 2 level 1 dinosaurs. So I will flip 1 card on each pile. If I would be a little bit later in the game and I would see a level 1 and a level 2 dinosaurs, I will rage 1 card here and 2 cards here. So that is how rage work, and you do that every time you have to shuffle your deck, so you are the other players. Maybe one last thing, the totem cards. The totem cards are special action cards which are represented by this symbol. When you buy a totem cards, like this one would cost me 2 food, it still go in your discard pile as any other cards. But when you play a totem card, so let's say I'm a little bit later in the game, I draw my 4 cards and I draw my new totem cards. I could play it by sticking one of my clan cards underneath like always. And at the end of my turn, my clan cards would go in my discard pile, but my totem cards will go in my active totem line. And this card will stay in front of me the rest of the game. It will never go in my discard piles when I played it. And how does it work? Once per turn I can tap it and I will gain the benefit of the card. In that case, that card would give me 1 attack each turn. And you have a lot of different totem cards. For example, that dino farm would give me 2 food or 1 dino token each turn. You can have special cards that are linked with the number of totems you have. So the shaman will give me 1 egg when I play it alone if I have 4 totems or more, and so on, so forth. So this totem would count as 3 different totems. It's important for the score at the end game. This totem would give me 1 friend each turn, and so on and so forth. So when you play a totem, it stays in front of you the rest of the game. So you will continue to play like that, drawing 4 cards each turn, playing your card for one of the 5 different possible actions. You will try to beat dinosaurs to gain them. You will try to collect eggs to have points. You will try to make more couples on your cards to have more friends, and so on and so forth, until one of 3 things happen. If you completely empty the jungle, so if that deck is completely empty, you play an equal number of turns and the game's over. If the first pile of dinosaurs or the second pile of dinosaurs is completely empty, same thing, you play an equal number of turns and then the game's over, and you just have to count points at the end of the game. But how do you do that? One last detail before we go to see how we count points at the end of the games. The cavern. The cavern is a special place you have on your personal board. It's that space just here that you can use to hold the card from one turn to another. For example, let's say I'm a little bit later in that game. I draw 4 cards. The cards are usually face down, of course. So I draw 4 cards. I see in my 4 cards I have 2 clan cards, 2 action cards. I really want to use that clan cards to destroy the egg of the other player, so I use that and I tap it to use it alone. And I want to use, let's say I want to use that special action because I want to hunt badly, or I want this totem in my zone, so I will tap that card to use that action cards. So I have in my hand 1 action cards and no clan cards to use. So if I want, I can put that action card or any clan cards, but I can use the cavern to hold 1 card. So at the end of my turn, my totem will go in my totem line, the rest of the card will be discarded, and I will draw 4 cards for my next turn. And I can hold that card as long as I want until I need it, until I want to play it. Or I could just next turn see I only have a bunch of action cards. I could discard it and replace it with another action cards I want to use for later turns. So there is a specificity in that deck building. You have a cavern, a place where you can hold 1 card from turn to turn. When the game's over, that means at least one of the 3 piles is empty. In that case, the dinosaur pile in the top left corner is empty, so we play an equal number of turns, and then the game's over. Now you have to count points. 4 things will give you points in that game. First, at the end of the game, you will flip all your egg token and you will add them. That is the first way you can get points. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 points from my eggs. Then you will count the number of totem you have. In that case, I have 1 totem. And you count the number of icon. totem, which is important because sometimes, like the card I'll already show you, sometimes you have more than one icon per card, so that card will not give me any bonus during game, but at the end of the game it will be worth 3 points. So you count the number of totem you have. In that case I have 1, so I am at 12 points. You count the number of dinosaurs you fought during the game, so in that case I have 1 card, so 1 point. It's the number of cards you fought, so I'm at 13. And then in your deck you will count the number of complete couple you can make. So I have 1, I have 2, I have only 2, because the rest of the 1 will not match together. So for each complete circle you create at the end game in your deck, in your whole deck, you will have 2 points. So in my case I will have 4 more points. For total I was at what, 13, so for total of 17 points, which is not much. And that is pretty much how you win, how you count your points, and how you win the games. One last detail maybe: the totem cards will be worth you points only if you played them, not if they are in your deck. So if I bought a totem in my last turn but I did not have enough time to actually play it, and I have it in my totem line, that totem will not be worth any point to me. And at the end of the game, whoever has the most point is the winner of the game. So before I finish the video, I just wanted you to take a look at some of the cards of the game, so you can have a look at the artwork in the game and some of the powers. You can see the different cards. There are a lot of them. I will not show all of them, but I will show some. So here is a fire. It's a totem. Once you play it once per round, you can draw 1 more card. So now you play with 5 instead of 4. It gives 5 food to buy. It gives you 5 food if you hunt and flip that card. Here's another totem, the yak, which will give you 1 food per turn. Here is a clan cards, the protector, which will give different numbers of attack points each turn. It will have an attack equal to the number of totems you have. I had that card once. It can be very powerful. The stellar, an action card, so you have to play it with a clan card, would give you 1 food, 1 dino token, and 1 little friend. The artist, what does it do? It will allow you to draw 1 card, and it will allow you to play 1 more action card this turn. So you can use its power and play an action card with the same card, something you are not usually able to do. I already talked about this card. The war card will allow you to play 2 action card, which with only this card. The hut will give you a friend each turn. The Amazar will give you a dino token and a food token. The Go-Go has the unique ability to create 2 friends in the same turn, and each time he creates a friends he will draw 2 cards. It's an extremely powerful card. The Trap Dinar give you 2 dino token. This guy will give you an egg token if you have a totem. I'll already talk about this one. What else do we have? The Hunter, which is simply powerful when he hunt. He has 3 attack power. And one last one, the Petrak allows you to sacrifice a food token to have 3 attack this turn. So these are some examples of the card you can find. Some cards, not a lot, all of them, can allow you to attack other players. The Neanderthal can give you 4 attack if you attack a dinosaur, or if you want to hunt, but it can also destroy the egg of another player. Remember that eggs are worth 1 or 2 points at the end of the game, so it can be very powerful. And that's it for Dinoblivion, the deck building game. Like I said at the beginning of the video, there is also a solo mode in Dinoblivion. In the solo mode there are a couple of differences. First, you will have a pool of only 12 eggs tokens. They have a different use in the solo game. And you will have 32 of the 78 cards, only 32 cards in your jungle deck, so in the main deck of the game. And the goal, you have different numbers of dinosaurs also. I think it's 4 level 1 dinosaurs and 3 level 2, or 3 and 3, something like that. And you will have to defeat all the dinosaurs before the jungle deck runs out. But in the jungle deck you also have some enemy cards which will look like that, And these enemies will cause the jungle deck to deplete faster. So since it's a race against the clock, these enemies will cause you to lose the game faster, because they will, each time they rage. When you flip an enemy, when you hunt and you flip an enemy like that, you will put it on the left side or the right side of the hunting ground you have chosen. And when the dinosaurs rage and you have to flip new cards in each hunting grounds, these guys will make you draw more cards, so the main deck will deplete faster. And if the main deck is empty, you lose the game. If you beat all the dinosaurs, you win the game. So that's it for Dinoblivion. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful to you, so you can now understand how to play the game. If you have any comments, you can leave that down in the comment section below, as always. And that was that for Dinoblivion, the deck building.